Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is created with the help of our network of observers, people from around the world who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We verify it all here in Paris and bring the best to you. The scene you're about to see takes place in Cangnan in eastern China. A man was taking photographs of the Chengguan, who are local police officers. When he refused to stop, the officers attacked him, but bystanders quickly came to his rescue and nearly beat the Chengguan to death. Now, according to our Observer Lu Haitao, the Chengguan are known for their brutality, and this was just the last straw.
A man snapped some photos of Chengguan policemen as they were violently dislodging a street vendor. They got in an argument and the police hit this man. Many people were watching the scene. A rumor then circulated on the internet saying that the man had died. Local residents got together and surrounded the Chengguan. They started hitting the officers. Some of the Chengguan tried to take refuge in a van, but the crowd attacked the vehicle. They were finally put into an ambulance, but it too was attacked. More police arrived on the scene and managed to disperse the crowd. Some of the officers were in a critical state after losing a lot of blood. The Chengguan are police officers that work in urban areas. They have a very bad reputation because they always use violence. They confiscate everything that street vendors own, which ruins their lives. People really hate them. There's not much you can do against the Chengguan. They do whatever they want and they have very little supervision. The justice system in China is not independent, so regular citizens have no recourse. I hope this unfortunate incident would at least get the Chengguan to change their attitude towards the people they are supposed to serve. The Chengguan in Cangnan may have stopped that man from taking pictures, but in the end, they failed since other people filmed everything.
Tcharmil is the name of a Moroccan dish, but lately it's also become the name of a trend among teenagers who post photos to social media networks showing off expensive possessions and preaching violence. This has caused a wave of paranoia in Casablanca, where violent acts are on the rise. Our Observer Alae Bennani tells us more.
This social phenomenon is about young people living on the lower rungs of society who show off via photos on Facebook, mostly of their knives and their loot, things they've stolen from their victims. In these photos, you can see sabers, mobile phones, bottles of alcohol, hashish, brand name hats, and a very specific type of watch that they call dollars. The Tcharmil have carried out several violent attacks, but only in impoverished neighborhoods where the police don't dare go. The Tcharmil have received a lot of attention online, so of course this has scared people. In the beginning, the authorities said this phenomenon didn't exist, but once they realized it did indeed, the police got orders to round them up on April the 4th, the day before the king visited Casablanca. They arrested about 50 young delinquents in just 2 days. Of course, crime remains a big problem in Morocco. These kids are trying to get people to pay attention to them and understand them. The state's institutions and their families have clearly failed in this regard.
And now on to some of the other reports sent in from around the world this week by our observers. We begin in the capital of Angola, Luanda, which has been undergoing a huge economic boom over the past decade. Now one of the most expensive cities in the world, it's rapidly expanding. To make way for luxury apartments, the city's historic Ilinga Theater is now slated for destruction. Local residents, however, are trying to put a stop to this. Claudio Silva, an expert in Luanda's culture, has joined this movement. He wants to save one of the rare spots in the city where rich and poor alike get together. A river on fire. This striking scene was filmed in Tikrit in northern Iraq after an attack on a pipeline. Oil flowed into the Tigris River. It then caught on fire after a fisherman threw a match into it. Our observer in Tikrit tells us that terrorist groups regularly target this area because several state-owned refineries are located there. Next stop, Canada. This video was filmed by a passenger of an Air Canada flight before it left the tarmac. The overhead compartments were full, so some of the passengers had to put their carry-ons in the baggage hold. But instead of carrying them down the stairs, these airport employees decided to just throw them. And since passengers usually put their most fragile items in their carry-ons, they were pretty annoyed. The company promptly fired these employees. We end the show with a little music, Pharrell Williams' hit Happy. There have been hundreds of remakes all over the world, but this one takes place in Tehran, the capital of the Islamic Republic of Iran. These young people are taking real risks, since women there are not allowed to dance and men are only allowed to dance to traditional music. So they decided to express their happiness up on Tehran's rooftops. That's all for this week, but as always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our smartphone app. See you next time.